Okay, so let's discuss about our first step in our PLAB journey, and that is OET. Before going for OET and starting its preparation, you must think about two things, okay? So first is your English knowledge, like either you have a very good English knowledge or you are average in it. This is a very important step. And the next one is your current status. Either you're doing any house job or any other job like medical officer, or either you are jobless. So I summed up a journal time plan with these two conditions. So if you have a pretty decent knowledge of English and you are doing a job, then at least take 2 months to prepare for the OET. And if you are not doing a job and you have a good knowledge of English, then 1 month would be enough. Okay. So on the other hand, if you have average English knowledge and have a job, then time would be of like 3 months. And without job, time plan should be of 2 months. Okay. It can vary also for person to person, but it's just a general plan. Okay. So next one would be PLAB 1. Okay. As I told you guys, PLAB 1 is an MCQ based exam. It comprises of almost 180 MCQs, and you have to score more than the average score, which varies from exam to exam. For example, when I gave PLAB in March 2020, at that time, the average score was 117, and we had to score more than that. So coming to syllabus, I have already posted syllabus on the group, and to discuss it in detail, we'll take another session. I'm just going over like a general plan. Okay. So question of time plan was been asked so much in the group. So preparing for the PLAB 1, this should be at least preparation should be of at least of 4 to 5 months if you're doing a job. And it can be reduced to 3 months if you are not doing a job, because I myself was not doing a job at that time. And I took 3 months, and it was pretty easy to complete it. And I did revision for like twice, and did a lot of mocks as well. So next one is approach. It's a very vast topic. It can vary from person to person, and it could be personal. But approach largely depends upon one's own suitability. But I will brief a general idea. You just have to keep this thing in mind, that you have to end your course twice at least before the exam. You can either go for the group study or you can study alone. It depends upon how you're more comfortable. So people when study as a group, like 3 or 4 people are making a group and they are studying for PLAB 1. They are solving MCQs and reading topics from Plabable and then memorizing them. But I personally don't recommend the group study, but it can be your personal choice as well. Because when you are solving MCQs on Plabable, you should be alone, because it will help you self-evaluate yourself, that how much preparation you need, and based on your background of medical knowledge. Also, remember to make notes of all the topics consulting Plabable and Plab keys to make it easy to revise before the exam. Okay. So next one is PLAB 2. As Zameen also told, that is a station-based exam, and I have explained thoroughly it on the group, that what comes in it, and what you should do and what's the format. So syllabus is also on the group. So time plan is because this exam is a little bit difficult in all the steps. So if you are doing a job, at least take 6 to 7 months. Okay. People think like 6 to 7 months are way too much, but it's not. Trust me on this. It's not 6 to 7 months. You have to take it to practice with someone. And if you're not doing any job, then 4 months would be enough. Next one is approach. Okay, for PLAB 2, approach should be a practice, practice, and practice. It's necessary to form a group, because a group study I don't really recommend, but in this, group study is necessary, because you have to practice with your friends, like a doctor and patient session, and always consult NHS website for management of each station. Next slide. Okay, so next one is managing PLAB with house job or any other job. Okay. So firstly, it's the best time to improve your CV, and if you can manage, you can give PLAB 1 in the house job. I have already discussed how to manage preparation with the job. Now I will discuss how to improve your CV during the house job. Okay. So first thing is to work in preferred specialties. When we go for the house job, we choose general medicine, general surgery, and then we choose two of different specialties of each of them. Always keep in mind, like emergency medicine, orthopedics, ICU, psychiatry, neurosurgery, and neurology. These all of them hold special importance in terms of a good CV while applying for a job in NHS. So don't forget to work in these. Okay. So next one is to prepare a logbook or to declare the practical experiences. So let me tell you what exactly a practical experience is. It is all the procedures you learn in the house job and you perform from day to day daily practice, like venipuncture, catheterization, cyclic tap, pleural tap. You know what you have to do, that you have to prepare a logbook. Unfortunately, we didn't have it, and it has numbers in your CV, and it's a very good point. If you can ask your any mentor, any clinical supervisor to sign it for you, for the logbook, it will help you in the future. The next one is research. Okay, so students, do not hesitate to take part in any research in any department. You can make your supervisor main author or can be co-author and vice versa, because research holds a really big importance in the form of CV when it comes to CV in the NHS jobs. Next one is clinical audits and quality improvement projects. Most of us don't know what clinical audits are. So it's actually a process that has been, defined as quality improvement process. I meant then clinical audit is a part of QIP. It is a way to find out if healthcare is being provided in line with standards, and let care providers and patient know where their service is doing well and where there could be improvements. Unfortunately, opportunities are less in Pakistan, but you can try and ask if audits occur in particular your hospital where you are doing a job. Because I did my house job from Fauji Foundation Hospital, and unfortunately, audits doesn't occur there. Next one would be training courses and workshop. This is something that is in the essential criteria of every job I'm applying right now. And that is like ALS, BLS courses and other training courses that we could do in the house job. So whenever you get any opportunity in the house job, some pharmaceutical company is coming and telling you there's some training courses, there's some workshop, and we'll give you some certificates after that. Please go on that attend that training course, because these all things hold numbers. And also try doing ALS, BLS. They say that the research council ALS BLS holds more importance, but just do it so you can show them that you have something equivalent. So next one would be teaching experience. Okay, in your logbook you can write this thing that you have taught today to medical students, to the paramedical staff, this topic, or you can make presentation and teach your students, and then get it signed by any clinical supervisor of that particular department, and it will also hold number in your CV. Okay, so these were the things that can help you to improve the CV. And also, I would suggest that prepare and pass OET in house job, as it occurs almost 2 to 3 times each month. And it's your own choice if you want to give PLAB 1 in house job as well. But you have to think about the seats availability too. Also, keep visiting the GMC page on Facebook for updates on the seats. Okay. So next one would be expensive. Next slide. Okay. I have made a summary of expenses from IELTS till PLAB 2 visit. And it comprises of, firstly, the passport, if you do not possess it already, because it varies according to the country. Then it would be IELTS. It costs almost 34,800 Pakistani rupees. It can be different in different countries. Then is occupational English test. It has 875 Australian dollar. It costs 875 Australian dollar. PLAB 1 has 239 and PLAB 2 is 875. Some people would think that PLAB is way too expensive. It is expensive, but it is way cheaper than if you're going for USMLE or AMC. And trust me on this, you would earn it back even in 3 to 4 months, all of this expense, when you will be doing a job in UK. Okay, so next one would be, okay. Next one would be standard visitor visa for PLAB 2. It also varies according to the countries. For example, when I applied in Pakistan, it cost nearly 21,000. But if you take some other assistance, like I took the assistance of scanning by them, so it cost me more 3-4,000, more than 21,000, extra to 21,000. Next would be Epic verification fee. So firstly, you have to develop an account on Epic verification site. It cost me $130, and for the verification of credentials, it cost me more $100 more than 130. Next would be Lab 2 visit in the UK, including GMC registration. Okay, so the PLAB 2 visit was the most challenging part because ongoing pandemic, seat availability, and also seats were being cancelled, airplane seats were being cancelled as well. So plan this wisely. Then in which part of the year you want to go and which airline you are taking. So round trip airline ticket, the return ticket, that is, it varies according to the airline and month. I chose Etihad Airline, and it cost me nearly 98,000 Pakistani rupees for return ticket. Okay. Next one is PLAB 2 course. It cost me 500 to 600 Great Britain pound. Actually, it varies from academy to academy as well. I took the Swami Academy, and as Zarmeen told you already, they just provide you with the material. They don't help you with the study. The key to the success is practice. Next one is rent and living expenses in the UK. It also depends upon that how much you are going to stay in the UK, in which place you are living. Some places are expensive, some are cheaper than that. And we will describe it about it. Like if you are living in Manchester, Manchester is a little bit expensive. People try to live in Manchester because the center of the PLAB 2 is in Manchester. But sometimes people also do live in other cities like Bradford. It is near to Manchester, but it will cost you way cheaper than Manchester. It cost me like £700 in Manchester for 47 days. And same if you I would go to Bradford, it will cost me just £400. So you have to plan that according to your own financial status. Next one is either you are living alone or with sharing. For sure, if you're living with the sharing, the cost will be cheaper. And if you're living alone, it will be a little expensive. Next one is food you eat and you order. If you're making your own meals, it would be cheaper. If you're ordering food daily, obviously it will be expensive. The next one is GMC registration fees. It is £157 for fresh graduates and £405 of for the graduates who are older than 5 years, more than 5 years. Okay, we are going to take a break, and you can rejoin with the same link after 5 minutes. Okay, thank you.